We have our 3 speakers today. They're each going to have 5 minutes, and it is the 3 candidates running for Branch 6 Circuit Court Judge. So we are going to start with the first candidate, and they'll each have 5 minutes here, Attorney Angela Cunningham.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As mentioned, I am running for Kenosha County Circuit Court Judge, Branch 6. I'd like to think I first decided that I wanted to run for judge when I was an assistant district attorney at the Milwaukee District Attorney's Office. I remember walking into the preliminary hearing courtroom and seeing a sea of black and brown faces sitting in the gallery. Some people were waiting for their cases to be called. Others were there supporting their loved ones who were facing criminal charges. And in the preliminary hearing courtroom, there is this plexiglass wall that separates the gallery from the rest of the courtroom. And I walked up to a door in that wall to wait for the deputy to let me in. And on the other side of this wall, there were prosecutors, there were defense attorneys, there was law enforcement officers waiting to testify in the preliminary hearing, court staff, and the court commissioner. And all of those individuals were white. And that stark contrast, I think, was kind of a wake-up call for me and my journey to deciding that I someday wanted to be a judge to help make sure that our courtrooms reflected the diversity of the individuals who came to court for various reasons. So that was my kind of light bulb moment. But I'd like to say that my journey to being a lawyer and standing here today actually started after my freshman year in college. I went away to college, and in the fall of my second year, I remember walking in the hallway, and one of my professors walked up to me. I had a full ride scholarship. I was majoring in engineering. I had straight A's, and a professor walked up to me to talk to me about the upcoming summer internship there that was coming up. He was really excited. He offered to write letters of recommendation to anywhere that I wanted to go. And I began to cry because what my professor didn't know was that I was 4 months pregnant. So after my sophomore year, the first semester of my sophomore year in college, I came back home to try to figure out what I wanted to do. And I ended up transferring to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I completed my undergraduate degree in social welfare and women's studies. I also obtained a master's degree in social work. Getting those degrees was a struggle. I lived in subsidized housing. I depended on public assistance to help make ends meet. There were times when I wasn't sure how I was going to pay the bills. I actually remember one time trying to fight to get child care assistance so that I could go to school. I went back and forth with my worker about getting enough hours to cover my time in class as well as my time that I was working. And I took it all the way up to the supervisor, and I told the supervisor I wanted to see proof that they weren't able to cover my hours in school. And long story short, the supervisor did pull out that policy and realized that they did have the ability to cover my time in school. And I would like to say that advocating for myself in that instance is where I realized the importance of advocating for people and where that first passion to advocate for people who were less fortunate came from. So after finishing my master's degree, I came back to Kenosha and worked in social services for several years. Right before going to law school, I was the executive director of the ELCA Outreach Center. While there, I worked with a lot of people who were low income, many people who were homeless or one paycheck away from being homeless. And they had legal issues that were further compounding their already fragile situations. And the problem was there weren't very many resources available for them to get help. See, if you are dealing with a court or legal issue that's not criminal, you don't have a right to a lawyer. So that is what prompted me to go to law school, and where I went to Northwestern University and obtained my law degree. Did all this while I was a single mother. Also did all this while staying active in my community. I'm currently on the board of directors at Catholic Charities and Urban League of Racine in Kenosha. Previously been on the board for Hope Council and the Kenosha Community Health Center. I want to use all of my personal and professional experiences and bring that to the bench to ensure justice for all in Kenosha. As a judge, judges should have an idea of the issues that communities deal with, including mental illnesses, alcohol and drug abuse, poverty, systemic racism. These are all things that are real in the lives of litigants who come to a courtroom, and these are all things that a judge should have some experience and knowledge in so that they understand when making rulings how that will affect the greater community. I invite you to go to my website at voteforcunningham.com to learn more. And remember, vote Angela Cunningham for judge on February 16th. Thank you.